Hey everyone! The first 3 episodes of the Rings of Power Season 2 just dropped, and we've got a lot to talk about. Is this season finally delivering on its epic promise, or are we still wandering in the shadows? Let's dive in and find out. Starting with the non-spoiler thought season, 2 of the Rings of Power picks up where we left off, with the same rich world building and high production values that we've come to expect. But, and it's a big but, if you were hoping for significant improvements or changes from the first season, you might find yourself a bit disappointed. While the visual spectacle remains a highlight, think sweeping landscapes of Middle-earth, stunning effects, and detailed costumes, the show still struggles with the same issues that plagued its first season. The pacing, for one, is slow, often feeling more like a leisurely stroll through a museum rather than a thrilling journey through a fantasy epic. Characters spend a lot of time talking, like a lot of time. And while dialogue can be captivating when done right, here it often falls flat, lacking the sharpness and wit that could have elevated these scenes. However, there are some bright spots. The storyline involving Sauron is, without a doubt, the most compelling. Watching his manipulations unfold adds a much-needed layer of intrigue and tension. But overall, I can't help but feel that the show is still struggling to find its footing, even with the massive budget and the rich source material it has to draw from. Alright, now it's time to dive into the spoilers. So if you haven't watched the episodes yet, this is your chance to click away, watch them, and then come back. For those of you who have seen them, let's get into the nitty-gritty details. Episode 1, titled Elven Kings Under the Sky, kicks off with a flashback that, admittedly, might throw some viewers off at first. We're thrust into the Second Age, witnessing Sauron's first attempted rise and his subsequent betrayal by Adar. The brutality of this betrayal is stark, reminding us that Middle-earth, despite its beauty, is a place of darkness and treachery. The episode also reintroduces us to Galadriel and Elrond, who are back with the elves and dealing with the fallout of Sauron's deception. The tension among the elves is palpable, especially with the creation of the Elven Rings. These rings, meant to extend the elves' time on Middle-earth, become a focal point of conflict, particularly for Elrond, who isn't quite convinced of their safety given Sauron's involvement. But perhaps the most striking element of this episode is how it subtly sets the stage for Sauron's manipulations. We see the seeds being planted, and it's clear that he's not done yet. This is where the show shines when it delves into the darker, more psychological aspects of its characters. In Episode 2, when the stars are strange, we shift focus to Khazad Diem, where an earthquake has caused significant disruption. The dwarves are struggling, and the tension between Prince Durin and his father, King Durin, takes center stage. This familial conflict is layered, with the two clashing over how to handle the crisis. It's a classic father-son dynamic, but set against the backdrop of a dying kingdom, it takes on an epic scale. We also get more of the Harfoot storyline, which continues to feel a bit disconnected from the main plot. Nori and her mysterious companion, who is definitely not Gandalf by the way, are wandering through wastelands pursued by dark forces. While their journey has its moments, it still feels like it's treading water, waiting for something bigger to happen. But the real highlight of this episode is Sauron's manipulation of Celebrimbor. His subtle, almost friendly approach to winning Celebrimbor over is chilling, especially when you know what's coming. The way Sauron plays on Celebrimbor's vanity and ambition is masterful, making this storyline the most engaging part of the season so far. Episode 3, The Eagle and the Scepter, is where the season starts to lose a bit of steam for me. This episode delves into the political intrigue of En-Menor, with the newly crowned Queen Regent Emriel facing challenges from within her own court. While this storyline could have been compelling, it's bogged down by a lack of emotional investment in the characters. The power struggle feels more like a distraction than a driving force in the plot. We also catch up with Isildur, who's on his own journey, albeit a rather meandering one. His storyline, along with that of Theo and the others, feels like filler at this point, necessary, perhaps, for the larger narrative, but not particularly engaging in the moment. The saving grace of this episode is, once again, the Sauron storyline. His continued manipulation of the characters around him, particularly the dwarves, adds a much-needed dose of tension and intrigue. But it's not enough to fully redeem the episode, which overall feels like a step back from the stronger first 2 episodes. So, where does that leave us? After 3 episodes, The Rings of Power Season 2 is proving to be a mixed bag. The show has moments of brilliance, particularly when it focuses on Sauron and his manipulations. But it also has long stretches that feel slow and uninspired. The stunning visuals and the rich world building are still there, but they can't fully mask the pacing issues and the often flat dialogue. I'm cautiously optimistic that the season will find its stride as it goes on, especially if it continues to explore the darker aspects of its characters and the world they inhabit. But for now, I'm left feeling much the same way I did after Season 1, intrigued by the potential, but ultimately underwhelmed by the execution. What did you think of these first 3 episodes? Are you as invested in the Sauron storyline as I am, or are you enjoying some of the other plotlines more? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for spending part of your day with me. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.